Partus Sequitur Ventrem is a Latin legal principle meaning, quote unquote, that which is born follows the womb. It was used in colonial America and the United States to determine the legal status of children born to enslaved women. Under this doctrine, a child's status as enslaved or free followed the mother's status, regardless of the father's. If the mother was enslaved, her children were born enslaved. If she was free, her children were born free. This rule was codified in Virginia, 1662, and widely adopted to perpetuate slavery by ensuring the enslavement of children born to enslaved women. Now, shout out to Flowers telling Stewart, Mulatto preservation, because she is the one who brought this to my attention a while back, a few months ago. But I'm talking about it now because I did see a comment that somebody put on another gentleman's channel. The gentleman actually is a pariah disciple. Shout out to him. He was talking about black mom biracials and white mom biracials and the nuances and differences, right? Ultimately, we have more in common than we have that's different. And for me, I'm focusing on the commonality. That's what my whole platform is about. But obviously, people who are outsiders and interlopers who are not mulatto, they're going to focus on the differences, and they're going to do that to splinter us as a group, to cause division and tribalism, because they already have that in their group. And we all know who we're talking about. This is very important. This legal status, this Partus Sequitur Ventrem, this is very important because this is just like the one-drop rule. It was a codified legal rule in the colonies that basically was here before even the United States government. And this is something that I personally believe is underneath a lot of some of the division that you're witnessing and the nuances that people on both sides cannot, fully articulate. What it comes down to is taking on the status of the mother, inheriting that status of the mother. Now, most of us are not aware of this. I wasn't even aware of this, but appreciate, telling Stewart her knowledge and wisdom and expertise and research because she brought this to my attention. But this is part of mulatto history. A lot of us are not aware of this, but it's our job, those of us within the media, to connect the dots and to be able to articulate what we're seeing, that there's actually a codified legal reasoning for why we see some division. There is some division there. And of course, as I'm going to reiterate, there's outside interlopers who want to superimpose divisions on us to keep us basically separate, right, from unifying. But a lot of us, we don't know this history. It's not taught to you in your schools. You have to really go deep and do research. But this is incredibly important because it's taking on the identity of the mother. And we know, which moms specifically, how the culture is passed down through the mom. With this legal document, it was not only culture that was passed down, which is naturally going to occur, but it was a legal status, or therefore a destiny that was then passed down to the child. And I think a lot of people are overlooking this, that it's not so simple, but there is a historical ramification because of this. And again, I want to bring this to your guys' attention now because I want you guys to basically do more research and dwell on it and think about it. And it's because I saw this comment from a gentleman when another content creator was having a discussion, and he made a very valid point, which I knew. I'll read the comment as you can see here. No, it goes back to the Partus Sequitur Ventrem. It's a 17th century rule which became custom to view the offspring of white women more valuable than offspring from black women. I would say it's in reverse, that the colonies, because it was a slave empire, United States, they looked at the offspring of the black female who was enslaved as being more valuable because it brought more wealth, it brought more labor, free labor, to basically support their capitalist system. This is a reason why. There was a lot of cases where if a white woman got impregnated by a black male and they had a child, they would abort the child. They've actually shown that in a scene in one of the cinema movies. I don't recall the movie, but there's actually a scene of that occurring.
Honey, it ain't what? What are we gonna do?
Put it in the crib. Stand off.
A lot of abortions occurred because they didn't want the mulatto to have a free status, and they wanted more slave labor. So they basically, and you guys heard of breeding farms, etc. So basically they looked at the enslaved womb, they used this legal doctrine to produce more free labor. And in his comment he puts, which then became the basis for perpetual chattel slavery, at least here in the United States, exactly based off this rule, this law, this edict. This is very deep stuff, and this is history that's not often talked about. And so I want people to reference this. I want people to reference the Partus Sequitur Ventrem when they think about black mom biracial and a white mom biracial. I'm not going to say verse. There is no verse, us against, we're in the same. We're both mulatto. So I'm going to say the differences, the nuances, look deeper into this legal doctrine and kind of see where the history of the kind of nuances and in some cases division, depending on who you talk to, where it takes place. And it's based off that legal status and destiny of the mother. Interesting stuff. I want you guys to ponder upon it. As I said, do research, drop a comment. Let's talk about it. Hey guys, so real quick, I am actually over on Patreon. So go ahead and please support me over on Patreon. You'll have access to exclusive content that you will not see anywhere else. And I am also over on Substack, so go feel free to check me out over on Substack. Sign up for the free monthly Mulatto community newsletter, and you'll also get access to my articles.